My fellow Sadzaitas, welcome to the home of reliable content where we marinate you with verified information without fear or favor. So, this is the man who is running Mozambique via social media. His name is Venancio Mondlane, a leading opposition candidate in the just ended Mozambique presidential election. His live broadcasts on Facebook attract close to 100,000 viewers, and they are done in Portuguese. He has been calling for national protests against the October 9 election results. Mozambicans have heeded the call, responding in their thousands in nationwide protests. It's been over 2 months of post-election chaos in Mozambique, with at least 130 people dying and thousands injured. Government has intervened with a heavy-handed response, deploying the army to try and bring the situation under control. Recently, some protesters have become violent, with offices of the ruling party, Frelimo, set on fire, and the statue of former defense minister Alberto Chipande pulled down. So this guy, Alberto Chipande, is credited with firing the first gunshot in Mozambique's War of Independence. Things are fast going down south in Mozambique, and as usual, SADC remains quiet like they see nothing. Yesterday, Mozambique's highest court, the Constitutional Council, validated the outcome of the general election. This has given Frelimo and its president, Daniel Chapo, legitimacy to rule Mozambique for another 5 years. The Constitutional Council of Mozambique is the equivalent of the Zimbabwean Concourt, which is the highest court in the land. Remember, in 2018, Nelson Chamisa challenged the presidential election result in the Concourt. Of course, Concourt is short for a constitutional court. So the Mozambican Concourt is known as the Constitutional Council. The Constitutional Council is power to determine ultimately the electoral complaints and appeals, as well as to validate and proclaim the election results, which it has just now done. And this has worsened the situation, with protests increasing in the last 18 hours. The outgoing president, Felipe Nyusi, had called for a national dialogue, but Mondlane didn't attend that dialogue because he gave conditions which the Mozambican government would not accept. And now, Mozambique is stuck in perpetual crisis. This is what I meant a month ago when I said, countries whose ruling parties came to power via an armed struggle don't change governments at all. I also say that of all the former liberation movements that took up arms, the ANC is the one that is most likely to lose power first because it fully embraced a democracy. Fully embracing democracy made the ANC weak. It made it vulnerable to democratic processes. The ANC can't win an election dubiously like what ZANU-PF and Frelimo do. Elections don't work in Zimbabwe, and equally, they also don't work in Mozambique. What the Mozambicans are doing is the only solution. Properly organized national demonstrations countrywide. But not just demonstrating for the sake of it. There needs to be a properly laid out plan. What's the end game? What is your objective? And if things go down south, what are you going to do about it? Because make no mistake, the regime will retaliate. And that's the biggest problem about demonstrations. Bloodshed. The fact that lives will be lost. That's the reason why Chamisa doesn't want to do demonstrations. He has publicly stated that he doesn't want to go to State House over dead bodies. That's why he plays it safe. But the problem is, if you play it safe, ZANU-PF gets comfortable. And if ZANU-PF gets comfortable, you will never get those electoral reforms which you said you need in order to participate in future elections. So, Chamisa is between a rock and a hard place. If he calls for demonstrations, people will die. If he doesn't call for demonstrations, reforms will definitely not come. And he said, no reforms, no elections. So, what to do, ladies and gentlemen? Because as we speak, ZANU-PF is not under any threat or pressure from the opposition. It seems to me that if the opposition continues with its current approach, then ZANU-PF will only be destroyed from its internal power struggles, not the opposition, and definitely not elections. But whatever happens, I'll be here to marinate you with all the details without fear or favor, because on this platform, we say it as it is. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoy the content, please like and share.